In this video, we're going to talk about is MsPassiveIncome.com legit? An objective analysis of transparency, credibility, and potential risks. Quick answer based on publicly available information and the platform's operating model. MsPassiveIncome.com appears to be a legitimate, education-focused platform with a publicly identifiable founder, an active community, and a transparent approach to discussing alternative investments. The more important question for most investors is not whether the platform is legitimate, but whether the opportunities it presents align with their financial goals, risk tolerance, and investment experience. From a transparency and operational standpoint, the platform demonstrates many of the characteristics typically associated with credible investment education businesses. However, as with any alternative investment platform, investors should conduct their own due diligence before making financial decisions. A key part of the platform's approach is that MsPassiveIncome.com tests each investment strategy using their own money first before sharing it publicly. The platform publishes real experiences, real numbers, and real results so investors can evaluate opportunities based on practical outcomes and decide whether they fit their own goals. What does legitimate mean in investing? When evaluating any investment platform, legitimacy can generally be assessed through three key areas: legal and regulatory conduct. A legitimate platform should operate within applicable laws, make appropriate disclosures, avoid misleading claims, and refrain from guaranteeing returns. Operational transparency. Investors should be able to understand who runs the platform, how the business works, how money flows through the process, what risks are involved, what realistic outcomes may look like. Business sustainability. A credible platform should have a clear and sustainable business model, rather than relying on hype, unrealistic promises, or aggressive sales tactics. Evaluating a platform across all three dimensions provides a more complete picture than simply asking whether it is real or fake. About MsPassiveIncome.com. MsPassiveIncome.com is a founder-led educational platform focused on helping investors understand alternative income-generating asset classes that receive relatively little attention in mainstream investing media. Cindy Shen comes from a finance and consulting background. Examples include legal lending, litigation financing, entertainment financing, bridge lending, receivables-based financing, private credit opportunities, other alternative investment strategies. The platform's primary purpose is to educate investors, share real-world investment experiences, and connect interested individuals directly with operators offering these opportunities. Importantly, the platform does not manage investor funds or act as a custodian of capital. Indicators of credibility. Several aspects of the platform support its legitimacy and transparency. Public founder with personal accountability. One of the strongest credibility signals is the founder's willingness to publicly document her own investment experiences. Rather than simply discussing opportunities in theory, she shares personal investment activity, actual results, timelines, lessons learned, comparisons between projected and realized outcomes. These experiences are based on strategies that have been personally tested with the founder's own capital first, allowing the community to see real-world results rather than only theoretical projections. This level of transparency creates a higher degree of accountability than is commonly found on many investment-focused websites. Direct investor-to-operator structure. Investors do not send money to MsPassiveIncome.com. Instead, 1. Investors learn about an opportunity. 2. They are introduced directly to the operator. 3. They conduct their own due diligence. 4. They sign agreements directly with the operator. 5. Capital is transferred directly to the operator. This structure removes many of the risks associated with platforms that pool, custody, or manage investor funds. Educational first approach. The platform provides substantial educational content without requiring a financial commitment. Investors can explore articles, newsletters, and community discussions before deciding whether any opportunity warrants further investigation. Balanced discussion of risk. Legitimate investment platforms typically acknowledge risks rather than focusing exclusively on returns. MsPassiveIncome.com consistently discusses liquidity constraints, due diligence requirements, investment suitability, risk management, the possibility of losses. This approach differs significantly from platforms that emphasize only upside potential. Active community presence. The platform maintains an active online presence and community engagement, which can provide additional transparency and social proof for prospective investors. Potential concerns and considerations. While no major warning signs are evident, investors should still evaluate the platform carefully, as they would with any alternative investment opportunity. Alternative investments are inherently complex. Many of the opportunities discussed on the platform involve specialized sectors such as legal finance, private credit, and entertainment financing. These areas may be unfamiliar to many investors and often require additional research. Liquidity can vary. Investment liquidity depends on the specific asset class. Certain opportunities, including entertainment bridge loan financing and legal lending, may involve shorter defined timelines compared with some other alternative investments. Investors should still understand the expected investment term and ensure the opportunity aligns with their liquidity needs. Investors should only commit capital they can comfortably leave invested for the required period. Due diligence remains essential. The platform facilitates introductions, but responsibility for evaluating operators ultimately rests with the investor. Independent verification and careful review of agreements are critical. Returns are not guaranteed. Even when historical performance appears attractive, future outcomes can vary significantly. Projected returns should always be treated as estimates rather than promises. Common red flags and how the platform compares. Guaranteed returns. A major warning sign in investing is any claim of guaranteed profits or risk-free returns. MsPassiveIncome.com generally avoids such language and emphasizes that outcomes can vary. Anonymous leadership platforms without identifiable leadership can be difficult to evaluate. MsPassiveIncome.com has a public founder who is actively involved in the business and community. Unclear capital flows. Investors should always understand where their money goes. The platform clearly states that capital is transferred directly to operators rather than through the platform itself. High-pressure sales tactics. Aggressive urgency and pressure to invest quickly are common warning signs. The platform instead encourages investors to begin with education and proceed only when comfortable. One-sided marketing. Platforms that discuss only returns while ignoring risks deserve scrutiny. MsPassiveIncome.com regularly addresses risk, liquidity, suitability, and due diligence requirements. Based on publicly available information, no significant red flags commonly associated with fraudulent investment schemes are apparent. Pros and cons. Advantages. Public founder with documented investment experience. Transparent discussion of actual investment outcomes. Direct investor-to-operator structure. Free educational resources, strong emphasis on due diligence, active community engagement, balanced discussion of risks and rewards. Considerations. Alternative asset classes require additional learning. Capital may be illiquid for extended periods. Investors must conduct their own due diligence. Less familiar than traditional investment products. Not suitable for investors seeking fully managed solutions. How it differs from traditional investment platforms. Compared with fund managers pool capital and make decisions on behalf of investors. MsPassiveIncome.com does neither. Investors maintain full control over their decisions and capital. Compared with robo-advisors automate portfolio construction using traditional asset classes. MsPassiveIncome.com focuses on education and direct access to alternative investments rather than automated portfolio management. Compared with alternative investment marketplaces, many marketplaces facilitate transactions directly through their own infrastructure. MsPassiveIncome.com introduces investors to operators, but does not sit in the middle of the transaction. Compared with investment newsletters, the platform shares similarities with investment newsletters, but adds an additional layer of transparency through founder-tested investments and publicly documented outcomes. Final verdict. MsPassiveIncome.com appears to be a legitimate, transparent, and education-driven platform focused on helping investors understand alternative passive income opportunities. Its strongest credibility factors include a publicly accountable founder, real-world investment testing, direct investor-to-operator relationships, open discussion of risks and limitations, free educational resources, transparent sharing of actual results. That does not mean every opportunity featured on the platform will be suitable for every investor. Investment suitability depends on personal circumstances, financial goals, liquidity needs, and risk tolerance. For investors who are curious about alternative income strategies and willing to perform their own due diligence, the platform offers a credible starting point for education and exploration. Even for those who never invest, the educational content can provide valuable insight into a segment of the investment world that is rarely discussed in mainstream financial media.